In this video, we're going to talk about how to solve two-step equations with algebra steps, and we're also going to learn how to plot that answer on a number line. So in the previous videos that I've showed for two-step equations, we had tiles. Well, now what we're dealing with is the numbers that represent those tiles. So if you remember, we dealt with X tiles right here. So these would be 4 long, non-shaded in rectangle tiles. We also have plus 15. Now plus and positive, when they're the same thing. So I'm going to write that down right here. Plus and positive are the same thing. So we have 4x, so 4 rectangle tiles, plus 15 integer tiles, so those are your square tiles, equals 55 squared tiles for those positive ones. Now if you so desperately desired, you can draw tiles, but who wants to do 55 squares? So what we're going to do is show the number way of solving this. So if you remember in the past, we had that equal sign was a line like this. We're going to do the exact same thing here. I call this the Great Divide. Other teachers call it something different. The purpose of this, just like with our tiles, is to show the left side equals the right side. It's to show that whatever we do to one side, we have to do the same to the other. So you must always draw those where possible. So what we're going to do, remember when we dealt with our tiles, we did not touch these X tiles right here until the second step. So I'm going to look over here at these positive 15 tiles. So I want to get rid of those positive 15 tiles, and remember to get rid of positives, we added in their negatives. So I'm going to do minus 15. So remember, just like plus and positive are the same, minus and negative are the same as well. So they're kind of interchangeable, they're synonymous and everything. So because I did minus 15 on this left side, I have to do minus 15 on this right side. That's what that Great Divide is there for, to show the same thing on both sides. These two cancel each other out. Positive and negative cancel out. I have 4 x's left over, so I'm actually going to bring those down here. Do not do the work up here. It makes life confusing. We want to show this second step. So I have 4x is equal to 55 minus 15. Again, remember, negative and minus are the same thing. So I can say minus here. That would equal 40. So now I have 4 x's are equal to 40. Do not stop here. Remember, we always want one positive x value, and I have 4 here. So what I have to do to get rid of multiplication, so remember when they are right next to each other, when a number and letter are right next to each other, it is multiplication. I undo that with division. So I'm going to show divide by 4. So remember that fraction bar right there is your division symbol. So that's how we write that. Whatever I do to one side, I do to the other. So I'm going to divide this side by 4. The 4's cancel each other out because multiply cancels out divide. And so I now have my positive x, which I'm going to bring down, equals 40 divided by 4, which is 10. And that is your answer. We can also check this, and I'm going to show you how to check this over here. Let me erase this real quick. We can plug this back in to our problem. So if I said that 4 times x, so I'm saying x is equal to 10. So everywhere there is an x. So here is my one and only x right here. I'm going to plug that in over here. So I have 4 times my x value of 10, which is right here, plus 15. We want to see, does it equal 55? So I'm going to solve it out using GEMDOS now. We do the multiplication first. 40 plus 15 equals 55. 55 does equal 55. Excellent. I know I now have the correct answer. So now plotting it on the number line, we want to plot this answer up here. So what we do, and I'm going to change colors so you can see what I'm doing, you can just make tick marks. If they give you a number line, fantastic, you use what they gave you. If not, you can just create your own. So I have 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, so on and so forth. My answer was x equals 10. So whenever I graph this, I'm going to show you how to do that. We graph it, x equals 10, and we just plot a circle at the 10 mark right there. So I'm going to zoom that in so you can see that just a little bit better. So when I graphed it right here, as you can see, I graphed it and I just did a closed circle right here on this 10 spot. And that's how you solve two-step equations. Now I'm going to do one more, and I know this video has been slightly long. I'm just going to do one more. We're going to deal with our negatives one more time just so that we make sure that we did everything right. So remember the first step, draw that great divide line right there. So we have great divide. I'm going to get rid of my integers first. So if you see, I'm not going to deal with these x's over here. I have minus 11, so that's negative 11. So I'm going to add 11 positives. I'm going to do the same thing to this side. I cross out my 0 pairs and bring down what's left over. Now, notice that negative is attached with that 6, so you bring down that negative in the second step. 25 plus 11 is 36. Now, here's the big deal that a lot of kids struggle with. We have a multiplication sign right here. Remember, the two numbers are right next to each other. You have to divide by the exact same thing you're multiplying by. So again, I have divide by. I am multiplying by this entire thing right here. Multiplying by negative 6. So I'm going to divide by negative 6. I do the same thing over here. My negative 6's cancel out, and I have x is equal to 36 divided by 6. You may need to bring back in that triangle work we showed from a previous video. You have positive 36, so that cancels out this positive. You have negative 6, that cancels out this negative. Your leftover is negative. So your answer is 36 divided by 6, which is negative 6. Now I'm going to show the checking over here just so that you can see it as we're checking, because remember that all of these are self-checking. So I have negative 6 times negative 6 minus 11 equals 25. We want to know, does our answer, oops, wrong sign, does our answer of negative 6 when plugged in over here make this statement true? Again, with your triangle, again, you need to redraw it. You draw it however many times you need it. I have a negative 6 times a negative 6. That leaves a positive. So 6 times 6 is 36, and it is positive. Minus 11, does that equal 25? 36 minus 11 is 25. So both of our sides are equal, which means x is negative 6 is our solution. So again, I'm going to zoom over to my number line so that we could see what to graph. We're going to graph negative 6 this time. So I have one. You just make your lines where you need to. Negative 4, negative 5, negative 6, negative 7, negative 8. And again, I'm going to plot my dot, a closed single dot, over x is negative 6. So hopefully this video helps you. Refer back to this whenever. And again, I know it's rather long, but we did do quite a few things. So hopefully this video helps you out.